godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by Gator Trim Light, Campus USA Credit Union, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Fairlife Milk, Domino's Pizza, International Diamond Center, Meldon Law, Miapa Latin Cafe, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Quality Plumbing, Sensei Asian Bistro, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Titan MRI and Imaging, the UF Bookstore, Gala Bank, B&D Electric, and the Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
It is time to eat some lunch and talk some sports. Welcome into a Wednesday edition of Sports Scene as you listen on WRUF. Andres will be our producer today. And as always, we thank you for making time out of your busy day to join us and talk sports. We come to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio. Remember, pool enclosures, businesses to decks and landscape lighting, full color systems, and you can do it right from your phone. You can program the whole thing from your phone. It's really pretty cool. And if you really want to Gatorize your home, they can do orange and blue lighting for you. Find out more, GatorTrimLight.com. Also, fueled by Southeast Car Agency, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. Think about this. The Cousins families run that business for nearly 50 years. Think about that. Longevity, great vehicles. When you go see them in person, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you to our friends at Southeast Car Agency. We have a good show for you planned today. NBA playoffs started last night. The Heat lose. The Magic tonight. Today, if all goes well, we'll be hearing from Auburn's play-by-play voice, Andy Burcham. He will talk Auburn spring football plus Auburn baseball because tomorrow Gator baseball will host Auburn in a 3-game series. And then he's been on our program before. Hope to have agent extraordinaire Lee Steinberg here with the draft just a few days away now. Lee Steinberg has seen a few NFL drafts. How has it changed? Is it still a marquee event? Has it changed for agents? You know, what their role has been over the years. He will join us for that later on today, I hope. So that is all on the docket today. Gator baseball losing last night. But let me just tell you, that's the best Bethune-Cookman team I have seen come in here in a long time. They're pretty good. And I know, lost to Bethune-Cookman. When you look at who Florida pitched, they didn't throw their top line pitchers, and they don't throw their top line pitchers during weekday games. That's simple. And you also have to give Bethune credit for what they did. But we'll talk about that as well. Don't forget, if you have questions today, you can call us on the Titan MRI Imaging phone line, 392-8255. You can find out more about them, titanmri.com. The email is sponsored by International Diamond Center, srussell@wruf.com. Great designer assortment of engagement rings, wedding bands, fine jewelry, good people to go to, International Diamond Center. If you have any Facebook Live questions, Ruse Ogra State Farm handles those. Your go-to agent in North Central Florida for home, casualty, and life insurance. YouTube questions courtesy of Campus USA Credit Union, where Coach Spurrier does his banking. They've been serving our community for 90 years. And if you want to text a question to us, the text number is 352-325-3777. And it's sponsored by B&D Electric, professional, reliable electrical service you can trust. You can schedule at bdelectric.com. We're going to start our show, though, talking to a young man who's been with us before, getting ready for the NFL draft. He is Trey Smack, who joins us here live on Sports Scene. Trey, thanks for doing this again. I just had J. Michael Sturtevant on yesterday. I'm going to ask you some of the same things I asked him. Just a few days before the draft now, have you worked out? What do you do now between now and the draft?
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Sure.
Really appreciate it coming back on. Right now, I'm just kind of been working out, staying healthy, just looking forward to any opportunity I got. That's kind of like what I've been going, past pro day and past combine, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm just, kicking and I'm working out, trying to get big and feel like I'm in the best shape of my life.
Wow. Don't you wish the draft was today?
Yeah, that definitely would definitely help me out a little bit more, figuring out what I'm going to do this next couple months. So.
What teams have you worked out for so far?
I worked out with a couple teams. I'm not going to say,
okay.
But there's teams some up north, some West Coast. I think you can kind of paint a picture, or you can kind of guess what team.
Yeah, I think so. I just didn't. Yeah. Also, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm finished there.
It's a little different now because when you get to college, you can have an agent. But what was the process like for you selecting an agent?
I think you brought up a good point with the agents in college. I'd never had an agent in college. I thought it wasn't necessary. And so the guys at the combine, when I was talking to coaches, and, this is probably some advice to any young college athletes out there, you probably shouldn't have an agent in college.
Wow.
I don't think it's because the percentage that they can take on your pay cut is just they can go up to 20, they can go up to 10%, and it's just crazy because now you have to pay on taxes, and an agent takes 10% of your pay. So you're basically, even if you didn't have an agent, you might get a pay cut, but still, like, an agent takes a lot of your money if you were in college. So I never had an agent, and NFL guys were just like, hey, that's really smart of you. Like, I wouldn't think of getting an agent in college. And, it's college for a reason. Like, have fun. You get to make some money on the side, and, just enjoy the process of college. And that's kind of like where I went about. And so I waited as long as possible. I didn't make my decision about an agent until probably week 11 of the season. So that's like, I was like, all right, I kind of need to shut it down. And I wanted to wait until, honestly, December. But I was like, I know I need to get this done so that my agent can help me get into the Shrine Bowl, can help me, hopefully workouts with other people in December and January, and so we can just get this all settled in because there's a lot of background stuff you don't see.
I'm glad you said that, and I hope fans took note of what you just said, because I think now in this world of NIL, and think of it whatever you want, that I think people just think, well, these kids are making a lot of money, and some certainly are. But if you do have an agent, you have to. Agents don't work for free, so you have to give some of the money up there too.
And
go ahead.
Yeah, and some of the times that's why we see a lot of kids transfer too, is because they think that the kid that they're representing isn't making enough money at, let's say, the University of Florida, and so they're going to be like, and the coach is going to be like, hey, we can't pay you. We actually cannot pay you this money. So they're going to tell the kid, hey, you're going to transfer. And it just looks really bad for the kid, and it looks bad for, whatever's going on, because everything they do at the combine, and they're just going to ask you questions like, hey, why did you transfer? And you're going to be like, because of money. They're not going to like that. So that's just what I got to say about it. And it's, I don't like, I was like, I'm going to state my point here. I don't like this whole entire NIL with the agent stuff, so I'm going to make it well known.
That's okay. And you did. So I appreciate you doing that. How was the Shrine Bowl? I mean, you drilled a 7-yarder, whatever the heck it was. How was that experience for you?
No, it was fun. I really had a good time. Being indoors, helped out a little bit with the wind. And I know some of the guys at the Senior Bowl, they hit some pretty big balls with some wind in their face and at their back. But, it was a lot of fun. That whole process of being at the Shrine Bowl was probably the most fun I've had going through this process, because everybody's going through the same thing. There's so much uncertainty, but having meeting new guys and talking about it, you're all kind of in the same boat where, you're just trying out for a team. And so meeting new people and building that network with new players. And, the Shrine Bowl did such a great job of hosting us there and, made everything so fluid with the whole entire there was a storm in Dallas, and, sometimes they don't know how to handle like snow and stuff like that there. But, I really enjoyed the Shrine Bowl, getting to meet everybody. And it was kind of just like an introduction to the interview process.
Trey Smack joining us here on Sports Scene, getting ready for the NFL draft. Trey, looking back on your time at Florida, I'm sure you've had time to reflect on that a little bit. What are your thoughts about your time at the University of Florida?
Yeah, I built great relationships. It was probably the best decision of my life so far. Coming to the University of Florida, I have so many great memories with all of my friends and, people that I can now call family too. But, I think it's great. I think anybody who's coming in as a freshman, as a, athlete or student, you're in for the best years of your life right here. And you're going to, mature so much just by, doing the daily things in yourself, like on your own, going to class, working out, eating right. You don't have mom and dad cooking for you and stuff. So I think it's the best decision that I've ever made coming here. And, I think game days are just a +1, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Just like, I think the whole process of being here as a student athlete, the practices are like, in my opinion, are like the most fun I've ever had. But game days is just like, hey, it's a little bit of a dessert. So
last thing, I was obviously never a good enough athlete to be where you are. That's why I'm sitting in this chair instead of doing what you do. But that said, it must be pretty cool to think, if everything goes right, I'm going to be in the National Football League. I'm going to be kicking in the National Football League. I'm going to be a pro player. Has that hit you yet?
No, not at all. Where it's like, I'm still thinking like I'm still in interview process, but I can't do anything else to like, because I'm basically done with the like working out, pro day. It hasn't hit me yet. I'm just like still here. I'm still in Gainesville. I still got all of my Florida stuff up, and I still feel like I'm a college kid. But right now, I know like in the back of my head, I'm like, hey, like this is a real deal thing. Like I can go to the NFL right now. Like I don't know how to feel about it. I've got such mixed emotions. Like I feel like I'm ready for it, but like I just don't know if like I'm not there yet. So it's like weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling. It's kind of like a pinch me moment. Hey, like I'm doing what I've dreamt of like for the past years I've been kicking. So it's kind of like, am I really doing this right now? Like this is insane.
Well, Tom Petty's right. The waiting is the hardest part. But with that, Trey, thank you for doing this. And hopefully when you get drafted and you're settled, we'll get you back and get your thoughts on who drafted you, what you're going to be doing. We want to kind of follow you here as you go along, but really appreciate you letting Gator fans know what's going on with you, and good luck on draft day.
No, I really appreciate you having me on. I do really appreciate it.
We'll talk, Trey. Yep, we'll talk. Thanks, buddy. You got it. Trey
right.
Smack joining us here. Isn't that cool to just – he's been on with us a few times. We're kind of following his journey along here, and that's really cool. Thanks to Trey Smack. All right, let's get another call on our Titan MRI imaging phone line. Gator, man, what's happening?
Oh, what's going on, Steve? It's great to get a kickers a little bit of love. A lot of people overlook the kickers, but hey, they win a lot. They don't win a lot of games for the Gators in the past,
and they win a lot of games in the NFL. I can tell you that.
Yo, no doubt. So I hope Trey Smack to have a great career in the NFL. But as far as the baseball team, how many more players we got to get back? I think they got 2 back this week against Georgia, didn't they?
Well, let's see. Cash Strayer is still out. Schwartz is still out. But slowly, they're getting people back, but they're not fully healthy yet.
Well, I can tell you, once they get healthy, they're going to be a problem. I can guarantee you that after what I saw this weekend.
Well, I mean, look, it all boils right now, more than halfway into the season. If somebody said to me, what's the strength of the team, it is certainly pitching. They're an okay hitting team. They're an okay fielding team. I think they can get better there. But when their frontline pitching is right, they can be a problem. And that's, I think, what they're going to have to rely on.
Well, as far as the spring game goes, I saw a lot of people crying about it. It's over. We'll have another 4-8 season. So I got the top 10 things I would tell all Gator fans that are crying another 8-4 season, all gloom and doom after the spring game. Number 10 this April. Number 9, you just watched an organized scrimmage. Number 8, the coaches got 2 games to start the season to figure it out. Number 7, the Georgia Tech fans will talk bad about all the ex-Georgia Tech players that came to Florida. Number 6, the quarterback situation will work itself out. Number 5, this coaching staff will put the best players on the field, I think. Number 4, when you are not expected to be good, that's when you are. Number 3, I think the wide receiver room will be the best in the country. And number 2, nobody is great right now. You just want to improve each week. And number 1, Summerall has brought the energy and the passion back to Gainesville. Let's get a man his chance and to bring back the Gators to the top of the mountain. And Steve, you have a good day.
Gator man, thank you. Appreciate your call. Don't forget our first hour today brought to you by Quality Plumbing. When you need a quality plumber, rely on the same company Gainesville's trusted since 1984. That company is Quality Plumbing. Their name says it all. All of our guests, courtesy of Meldon Law, serving Gator Nation since 1971. Meldon Law won't back down. We'll take a break. We'll come back again. Hope to have Auburn's play-by-play voice, Andy Burcham on with us at the bottom of the hour. But we want to hear from you, too. I'm going to be stubborn and do this. I'm going to beg if I have to. If you like an NFL team, if you're a fan of a team, call me, email me, text me, whatever you want to do, and let me know who you think they will draft and who you would like them to draft for their first-round pick. Okay? You're listening to Sports Scene on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Ava Lack. Last night, Florida baseball lost 13-7 to Bethune-Cookman. Despite the upset, head coach Kevin O'Sullivan is remaining positive as the end of the regular season is slowly approaching.
It's valid that it seems like it's been a little up and down. We're 2 games out of first in the league. Our RPI going in tonight was 4. We've got the number 2 strength of schedule. So there's a lot of metrics there that line up that we're in position to where we need to be. Now, have we had some bad losses? Yeah, but so has everybody else.
Tomorrow, the Gators look to rebound as they face Auburn. After a major series win against South Carolina this past weekend, Florida softball is back in action tonight against FGCU. Coverage for the game starts at 5:40 p.m. on WRUF. Florida gymnastics start the hunt for a national championship tomorrow. The Gators compete against LSU, Georgia, and Stanford at 4:30 p.m.
Hey folks, it's Steve Russell for my friends at Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. They've been in business for over 45 years. That in itself says a whole lot. Take a look around you when you drive. Take a look at the car in front of you, alongside of you. There's a really good chance it'll have a Southeast Car Agency tag, just like my vehicle does, and many vehicles before that have as well. When you go see them in person, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you to the good people at Southeast Car Agency, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, Gainesville.
Everyone knows Gator Trim Light is the go-to for patented permanent holiday lighting. But did you know they do so much more? From pool enclosures and businesses to decks and landscape lighting, they've got you covered. Full color systems, fully programmable, right from your smartphone. Invisible by day, stunning by night. Show off your orange and blue home or landscape with GatorTrimLight.com. That's GatorTrimLight.com. GatorTrimLight.com.
P.F. Chang's Gainesville is serving up incredible lunch specials starting at just $11.99. So if you're in the mood for Asian fusion cuisine, stop in for lunch today. And don't miss happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. with $5.99 beers, $6.99 wines, and $8.99 cocktails. Make your next lunch or afternoon unwind unforgettable at P.F. Chang's Gainesville, your destination for lunch and happy hour.
It's lunchtime and nobody does lunch like Pomodoro Cafe. From Italian dishes to subs and salads, and favorites like their pressed ciabatta pesto chicken with fries, grilled chicken, assorted roast peppers, mushrooms, mozzarella, and pesto aioli.
This is Steve Russell sharing with you one of my favorite lunch spots, Pomodoro Cafe, located in the Spring Hill Publix complex on 39th Avenue near I-75. Enjoy Pomodoro Cafe today.
And don't forget, they cater online at pomodorocafe.com.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
Nope, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Hey, Gator baseball fans, here's a win you can taste. When the Florida Gators take home a victory at Condren Family Ballpark, you win too at Miapa Latin Cafe. The day after every home win, swing by and score a free Cuban coffee, hot or iced, your choice. Just bring your game ticket to any Miapa location and claim your reward within 24 hours of the win. It's that simple. Gators win, you win. Only at Miapa Latin Cafe, serving Gator fans for over 20 years. Play ball!
In a world of big banks, there's only one truly local choice in Gainesville, Gala Bank. Locally owned and operated, Gala Bank is built by people who live here, work here, and care about this community. With over 350 years of combined banking experience, you'll always get trusted guidance and personal service you can count on. And with convenient 7 to 7 hours, Monday through Saturday, banking works around your schedule, not the other way around. Local bank, local people. Gala Bank. Member FDIC.
Connecting with WRUF at Sports Scene just got easier. Call, email, watch on YouTube or Facebook Live. And now text us on the B&D Electric text line at 352-325-3777. That's 352-325-3777. Gator baseball fans, don't miss On Deck with Steve Russell and Jeff Cardoso live every Monday at 1 on WRUF. Get baseball and softball breakdowns, player analysis, and SEC previews. Listen live or anytime on the WRUF app, YouTube, or Facebook. On Deck, it's a hit.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Meta World Peace, what's up, man?
Nah, that's not my name anymore, thanks to Hard Rock Bet.
We're doing this again, are we?
Now I go by Meta over rebounds, under assists, method of first basket, free throw, piece.
Huh, so you really can same-game parlay practically anything now on Hard Rock Bet.
It's the only place I play these days.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start playing today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Gator baseball plays here. WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
All right, welcome back. And Andres, I'm sitting here and I'm waiting on calls, and I just cannot get anybody. I just don't understand why the NFL draft is not more, and I say this every year, because I know there are people who are listening that like the NFL and have a favorite team. It's amazing to me. Let's go to our International Diamond Center email. Daryl, last night, one of those nights for Gator baseball. Hats off to Bethune-Cookman. They'll probably be in a regional somewhere. Maybe here. Maybe here. That would not be out of the realm of possibility. I want to also bring something up to you here. Something that On3 has done. They're reporting. I want you to hear, like Trey Smack just said, you heard what he just said, right, about agents and all that. On3's reporting that elite high school football recruits are now commanding 7-figure NIL offers. They are reporting that one athlete received a 3-year, $7.5 million deal. A college dude. Okay? The basement, $750,000, and according to the reporting, if for many recruits, if it isn't $1 million, I'm not even sniffing it. Wow. How about that? So that's where money is right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the top athletes in college are commanding. Crazy. Byron, hello.
Hey, Steve, I tell you, man, J.U. Stetson, somebody gets us every year. But I love Florida baseball and, the college teams. I think they play some great ball, man. I wish I could get there to see more of them. Steve, I just think this is a preview of what the World Series is going to be like, man. If anybody can tell me who those 8 teams going to definitely be and who's going to be the Final Four and 2 in that, that's not hard as doing the 64 in basketball, if you ask me, but it's not as many teams. But, Steve, what I called you about, you already know my team, the Jags. But, Steve, let's do the Bucks, Steve. Do you think Todd Bowles is on the hot seat? They lost the wide receiver. I know his name on the tip of my tongue. He was probably going in the Hall of Fame.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. Thank you, Steve. God almighty. But who do you think they're going to draft, Steve, for their first round? Just me guessing, and I don't have any clue because I haven't been following them. But do you have any idea what Tampa's going to do, or what is your guess there?
Well, first of all, I believe that their coach is definitely on the hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit surprised. He was retained, actually, because they kind of tanked at the end. So they do have 7 picks, I believe, in the draft. If I had to guess, and again, I don't know the Bucks that well, but they do have, I think, 1 pick in every round. I believe that's right. Somebody can look it up and, But I do believe they're going to go defense early. They have a need at linebacker. I don't think they rush the passer particularly well. So if I had to guess, and that's purely what this is, I would go there.
That's a great job, Steve, because they didn't seem to be able to stop nothing or anybody last year. Steve, real quick, I just got into this general manager thing. Do you know anything about Tampa's general manager? And I don't think Todd should just be on the hot seat. The way they picking him too, but give me your analysis of that. And thanks, Steve, for the show, man. Go Gators.
Byron, thank you. I have no idea who the Bucs general manager is. But, sometimes those dudes are let go. But most of the time it's the coach. The general manager's not coaching the team, so to speak. But, look, a lot of people, Messidor is a guy that I think a lot of people are looking at for the Bucs to draft early. And that his name's popped up from Miami. We will see. Coming up next, I always enjoy talking to my compatriots around the league. Andy Burcham, really good dude, is the play-by-play voice of Auburn. We'll talk spring football. We'll talk some baseball with Andy coming up as you listen to Sports Scene coming to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF.
This is former Gator quarterback Shane Matthews, and you're listening to the home of Gator Sports, WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
It's never fun being injured. And with summer on the way, the last thing you want is lingering pain holding you back. Good news. You don't have to deal with long waits or high costs at Titan MRI and Imaging. At Titan MRI and Imaging, you're not just another patient. You're treated with care in a comfortable, personal setting. With 2 locations in Gainesville and 1 in Lake City. Being pain-free is a short drive away, and they accept insurance. So don't sit out this summer. Get the scan you need and get back to enjoying it. Visit TitanMRI.com to learn more.
International Diamond Center's values are so compelling, it's not unusual to see people here that are not local.
Every day, we have people that drive an hour and a half, even 2 hours.
IDC owner Keith LeClaire.
People are willing to drive because they've heard it's not a typical jewelry store.
For example, did you know IDC has one of the largest selections of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in America?
You're going to want to come to IDC. It's worth the drive.
International Diamond Center in Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
By now, you've heard about the Florida Legends Experience in Gila, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel, and Steve Spurrier all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at FLLegends.com. That's FLLegends.com.
Gator fans, get ready to raise a glass for a perfect cause. Spurrier's Gridiron Grill is teaming up with UF Gymnastics head coach Jenny Rowland to bring you 2 brand new limited time drinks. Feel the heat with the fiery flip or stick the landing with the perfect 10 margarita. And here's the best part. $2 from every drink goes straight to support the Gator NIL Fund. Sip, support, and celebrate Gator greatness. But hurry, these signature drinks are only available for a limited time at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, where Gators come to win. There are plenty of realtors in town, but few work as hard, respond as quickly, or care as deeply as Doreen Wiebe of Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Community-driven and client-focused, Doreen will work with you to ensure your satisfaction. Whether you're buying or selling, she brings persistence, preparation, and heart to every deal. With Doreen, you're not just another transaction. You're a priority. Call 352-562-1411. That's 352-562-1411.
It's game day. Lights on, fans ready, everything running like it should. Now imagine your home performing at that same level. No flickering lights, no tripping breakers, no last-minute surprises. With B&D Electric, your home's electrical system is always game day ready. From repairs and lighting to panel upgrades and troubleshooting, they deliver reliable service you can count on every time. Don't sit on the sidelines. Schedule your service today at www.bdelectric.com. That's bdelectric.com.
You're listening to Sports Scene with Steve Russell, right here on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Don't forget tonight at 5:40, Gators softball here as Florida takes on Florida Gulf Coast. Lindsay Fico, former Gator player, comes back with her Gulf Coast team. And then after that, it'll be win or go home in the West, the NBA play-in tournament, 9-seed Golden State against 10-seed the LA Clippers. Right now, though, we're going to go to our Titan MRI and imaging phone line, bring in a guy I've known for a long time, does a great job as the play-by-play voice of the Auburn Tigers. We're going to talk a little spring football and some baseball today with Andy Burcham. Andy, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for taking time. Let's start with baseball since it's the closest thing here. Wow, what a year it's been in the league, up and down, in and out. I mean, but Gator fans going to watch Auburn. Tell us what we're going to see.
At least to this point, Steve, really good starting pitching from Auburn through this point of the season. And Auburn got another guy, or is getting another potential starter back in Griffin Graves, who pitched last night, went 3 innings against Alabama State. Was injured in the preseason, is just starting to come back. But what Auburn has found through the first half of the Southeastern Conference season was a deep starting pitching staff. And at this time of the season, that's a bit unusual.
It is.
But you will see Andreas Alvarez on Thursday night, Jake Marciano on Friday, and then Alex Petrovic on Saturday, and Auburn still has another guy that has been a starter in Southeastern Conference play this year. As a matter of fact, has been an SEC Pitcher of the Week in Jackson Sanders. And all 4 of those guys are available for Auburn this week. In winning 2 of 3 last weekend against Kentucky, Sanders did not pitch for Auburn. So you may see Sanders as early as tomorrow night because he hasn't pitched in about a week and a half, and this being a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, that may move up his time to come in behind Alvarez either tomorrow night or Marciano on Friday, or if it comes to that, Petrovic on Saturday. But Auburn's starting pitching has really been very good for the Tigers for quite some time now. Alvarez was the midweek starter for Auburn through the first half of the conference season, and moved into the starting role in a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series 2 weeks ago, and is 6-1 with a 1.24 ERA. and really has pitched very well for Auburn in that dual role. Now is a weekend starter for Auburn. And Marciano was 3-2 with a 1.88. Petrovic, who was one of the co-SEC pitchers of the week this week, 6-1 with a 2.66. So Auburn likes where it is from a starting pitching performance, but that is the strength of this Auburn team rolling into Gainesville tomorrow night.
From an offensive standpoint, Andy, what do you see?
Eric Guevara is a guy that has really caught fire of late for Auburn. He's a junior third baseman out of Panama City, Panama. Hit 2 home runs last night against Alabama State. Is Auburn's leading hitter on the season, has been Auburn's leading hitter in Southeastern Conference play. He has played very well. Chris Rembert at second base, a preseason All-American, is starting to find his form again. Right now batting .345, had 3 hits in last night's game. And then, Bub Terrell in left field is a sophomore that has played well for Auburn. Chase Fralick is Auburn's everyday catcher. And everyone that I just mentioned, other than Guevara, are all sophomores.
Wow. For
this Auburn team. There was a really good freshman class that came in last year for Auburn, and those guys are performing very, very well for Auburn right now. So that's the strength of the Auburn offense. Add Bristol Carter in center field, who's Auburn's best runner, 24 of 25, make that 25 and 26 stolen base, a real disruptor at the the top of the Auburn order. And the number 6 is the magic number right now for Butch Thompson. It's the mantra that he's talked about offensively. You get 6 runs in an SEC game, and you're going to win it. And he's looked at the numbers across the league. And going into last weekend against Kentucky, and remember Auburn was a game above 500 in the league going into that. But if Auburn had averaged 6 games or 6 runs per game, Auburn would be 12-2 in SEC play. And Auburn was able to get to that mark and then some with 2 games last week against Kentucky. But Auburn also knows that it's going in against at least in SEC play, a very hot Florida ball club this weekend in Gainesville.
Let's switch to spring football. Obviously, new head coach there.
Ooh, new everywhere, baby.
Yeah.
New everywhere.
What's been the vibe from the fan base with, to your term, Andy, new everywhere?
Yeah, that's been it, because we're all learning about the 40 newcomers on this Auburn football team, 13 of which in the transfer portal came to Auburn from South Florida, including Byron Brown at the quarterback spot. Folks are very excited about having Brown under center or in the shotgun this year. The 6'2", 232-pound senior out of Raleigh, North Carolina, has really given Auburn a boost at that spot. But Auburn has there are 13 players on this roster from South Florida, most of them on offense. And when talking with Byron Brown in a couple of events this year with Auburn, the guy that he's most excited about isn't necessarily a Chaz Nimrod or a Deshaun Spencer or a Christian Neptune or some of the guys at wide receiver. The most excited he's about is Cole Best, who came from South Florida at center. He will anchor a brand new offensive line for Auburn. Everybody is new up front, and Best is, a guy that has been in this system now for 4 years, the Alex Golesh, Joel Gordon offense. And that's the guy that Byron Brown talks about quicker than anyone is the guy that he is very comfortable with up front at center for Auburn. So that's the buzz offensively. Linebacker is the buzz defensively, and it's one of the areas that Auburn has returners. In Bryce Diaz, who's from Prince George's County, Maryland, Xavier Atkins, who was a second-team All-American last year at linebacker, came in from LSU and just exploded for the Tigers. Elijah Melendez from the state of Florida, who performed very well with 29 tackles as a true freshman for Auburn a year ago. And that's where Auburn has its most experienced depth defensively, is at the linebacker spot. You have to get new corners for Auburn this year. Auburn starting corners all left in the portal a year ago. Auburn has some depth and some experience at the safety, and it's all new up front for the most part for the Tigers. You lose a couple guys that will go in the NFL draft this year at the edge spot, so that's two spots you've got to replace there.
Andy Birchman joining us, play-by-play voice of the Auburn Tigers. Obviously, DJ Durkin coached here, was the interim head coach. I was mildly surprised that he didn't move on. Did it surprise you that he stayed on as the defensive coordinator?
Well, it was an interesting time because he brought some energy to Auburn in those last couple games as the interim head coach, and of course remained the defensive coordinator. Auburn's strength a year ago was its defense. It may be again this year. Until yesterday's scrimmage, Alex Golesh had talked about how the defense had the upper hand in spring practice, and Auburn's spring game is this Saturday at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Offense seemed to take a step in the right direction yesterday. Yeah, I really didn't know what would happen. It would have been, I couldn't say I'd have been surprised had DJ Durkin decided to go somewhere else, maybe seek a head coaching spot. And he was a candidate for the job at Auburn, along with Alex Golesh and other names that you're very familiar with.
Yep.
At this point.
Yeah.
So the fact that DJ Durkin decided to stay at Auburn, and Auburn is happy that he did, perhaps was a bit of a surprise. I think we all hoped that would happen because the team responded to him so well, not only from a defensive standpoint all year long, but in those last couple games where he served as the interim head coach as well. There was a boost there for Auburn in those last couple ball games of the season. Auburn is thrilled, though, that DJ Durkin is back, and he retained his defensive line coach up front and Vontrell King-Williams. Everybody else pretty new with this staff right now.
I would imagine, Auburn's had some issues at the quarterback position, but getting Byron Brown, that's got to make the fan base pretty excited to have a guy with his numbers. He's playing for a coach he knows. He's playing under a system he knows. And Auburn has not had, great quarterback play. But that's got to make the fan base pretty excited, doesn't it?
It does. And here's a guy with proven numbers. Granted, it's in South Florida, although he has played some Power 4 opponents. But, a guy that comes in with almost 7,700 yards passing and 61 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards in his career, over 2,200 yards in his career on the ground. So a true dual threat quarterback. And he is not a guy that's coming to Auburn like the two previous quarterbacks to try and resurrect a career. This is a guy that has been a proven commodity that comes in for his last year at Auburn. I think that's the difference for the Tiger fans, is they know that this guy has done it in his career at South Florida, a guy that was recruited by two schools coming out of high school, decided to go to South Florida, has fought through an injury, has had some big-time years for the Bulls there, and Auburn is looking for him to add another chapter to what has been a terrific career for Byron Brown this season.
Andy, last question, and this, it's very hard to quantify this, but I'll try. We're in the age now, obviously, of money and, having to have money to get players in. A lot of players transferred something, I don't know, of the nature of 35, 40 players. What, in your view, is the monetary situation at Auburn to compete in this transfer portal world that we're in?
I don't have a number for you, Steve, as far as what that number is on a football level or a basketball or even a baseball level right now. I think Auburn is competitive.
That's what I wanted to know.
It can always use more. Yeah, it can always use more, but Andrew Warsaw is Auburn's general manager for football, and that is one of the things that is his bailiwick, is managing those numbers for this football team. And Auburn lost some big names from last year's squad, guys that I think everyone wanted for those guys to be back and moved on. And Auburn is managing that money as best that it can. I think Auburn is competitive. Can it use more? Absolutely, and continues to try and raise more for the NIL coffers at Auburn, not just on the football side, but across the board, both men's and women's athletics. But I think Auburn is competitive at this point, to be sure.
Well, we're going to find out. Spring game coming up. Auburn baseball here tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Always a pleasure to talk to a guy I've known for a long time, Auburn's play-by-play voice, Andy Burcham. Appreciate you, Andy. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure, Steve. Have a great day.
You got it. Thank you. He's a good dude. We started doing women's basketball together a long time ago. All right. Again, many thanks this hour to Quality Plumbing for sponsoring the first hour of the show, and all of our guests courtesy of Meldon Law, serving Gator Nation since 1971. And make sure and check out our daily clip of the day on WRUF Facebook and YouTube at WRUF Home of the Gators, brought to you by our friends at Fairlife Milk. We'll come back. Plenty of time to hear from you today on a Wednesday edition of Sports Scene. You're listening as we come to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Bob Sager. Florida baseball suffered a 13-7 loss to Bethune-Cookman last night. It was a complete pitching disaster, but despite the loss, head coach Kevin O'Sullivan still has some optimism heading into the Auburn series Thursday.
I think it's valid that it seems like it's been a little up and down. We're 2 games out of first in the league. Our RPI going in tonight was 4. We've got the number 2 strength of schedule. So there's a lot of metrics there that line up that we're in position to where we need to be. Now, have we had some bad losses? Yeah, but so has everybody else.
Read about the upset loss on WRUF.com. Number 4 Gator softball hosts FGCU tonight. Florida's 40-5 this year and 11-0 against in-state opponents. Coverage on WRUF starts at 5:40. And tomorrow at 4:30, Gators Gymnastics makes their 42nd appearance in the NCAA Championships.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Gator Nation, did you know the UF Bookstore, located right inside the University of Florida's Rights Union, is more than just textbooks? That's right. Gear up with officially licensed Gator merchandise from top brands like Nike, Peter Lamar, Lululemon, Columbia, Tommy Bahama, Apple, and more. From game day to every day, we've got the styles Gators love. Stop by the Florida Bookstore at Rights Union. The Florida Bookstore, where Gators shop.
Go Gators!
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for core power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
We all know the most exciting thing that can happen during a baseball game is a grand slam. Leave it to Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC and the Florida Gators to make it even more exciting. This year, at any SEC home game here in Gainesville, if the baseball or softball team hits a grand slam in the 4th inning, someone will win a 2-year lease on a brand new 2026 Chevy Trax. It's happened before. Will you be the next to win? Davis Gainesville Chevrolet and the Florida Gators. Now that's a hit.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville. You'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Concrete is tough, long-lasting, durable, and when it's done right, it's the foundation of everything that stands strong. At Silverback Concrete, we don't just pour concrete, we build trust one slab at a time. We're a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists who sweat every detail, from footers to elevated decks. We respect your budget, we build to last, and we care about the people on the job today and those who will walk these floors tomorrow. You stand on it, we stand by it. Silverback Concrete, we've got your back. Visit silverbackconcrete.co to get started.
For more than 50 years of quality service, Archer Electric Service Company has been Gainesville's choice for residential and commercial electrical work. Whether you need wiring, repairs, or backup generator installation, we treat every client like family with professional, clean, dependable service. Don't wait for the storm or the flicker to remind you. Visit ArcherElectricService.com today for a free consultation and see why we've been Gainesville and the surrounding area's most trusted electricians for decades.
Hey, it's Steve Russell. Join me and my baseball broadcast partner, Jeff Cardozo, every Monday at 1 p.m. for the On Deck Show.
Lawson sends it out to left center field. This ball's hit pretty well. It's traveling, and it's going to get out of here.
We'll talk Gator baseball, Gator softball.
Shoemaker's swing sends one high, deep right center field. At the wall, it's out of here.
And of course, Major League Baseball as well. We'll see you every Monday at 1 for the On Deck Show on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and on the WRUF mobile app.
When you're ready to stop renting and start building something that's truly yours, when you're ready for that backyard barbecue, that front porch swing, or a place where the holidays finally feel like home, Radiant Credit Union is ready too. Right now, we're offering a special low mortgage rate with flexible terms, fast approvals, and guidance for every step of the way. So when you're ready to make your move, let's get started. Radiant Credit Union. Visit radiantcu.org and apply today. Federally insured by NCUA Equal Opportunity Lender.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Sunny and hot this afternoon, highs near 90, starting out mostly clear tonight with patchy fog in the morning, lows near 60. The summer-like heat continues for us Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend with near record high temperatures possible in the lower to mid-90s, both on Friday and Saturday. Then a cold front should track through our region Sunday night into Monday. Cooler Monday afternoon, highs in the low 80s. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
WRUF, where Gator Nation comes alive. 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
All right, welcome back to Sports Scene. Let's go to our International Diamond Center email. Larry says it might be, we just don't give a happy rat's behind about the NFL draft. Many don't. Do you think Billy Diamond ends up back in Orlando? No. Losing to J.U. and Bethune-Cookman is downright embarrassing. This is your cue to rush to the defense of your boy, Sully. Well, first of all, okay, I don't have to rush to any defense. His record speaks for itself. And I also am a big history guy, Larry. So let me give you a history lesson. Okay? In 2017, I believe that was the year that Florida won a national championship, correct? That year, Florida lost to Jacksonville. That year, Florida lost to UCF. That year, Florida lost 2 games to Florida Gulf Coast. Florida lost a game against Seton Hall. And I could go on. What happened? So you might say it's embarrassing. Fine. But in the end, what matters is the RPI. What matters is if they can host or not. That's what matters. So, yeah, in the short term, does it look good? No. But in the end, does it really? They also lost to USF that year, and I did the game. I remember this. It was like 15-9 or something like that, and it was very late in the year. But once again, Florida won a national championship. So, history lesson for you, Larry, that you can lose to a team like that and still have a very good season. Art, I want the Dolphins to take nobody and just stock draft picks and secure the big arch to Miami next year. She said, hopefully the Jets win some games. Yeah, I'm eternally hopeful. David, he's going to bite for his favorite team, the Cowboys. Okay, pick in for the Dallas Cowboys. They'll trade pick 12 and 20 to Cleveland for pick 6 and 39. How about that? I believe they'll either take Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs with pick 6. And text question here, not a name, but I was born in Pittsburgh, been a Steelers fan my whole life. I don't follow the draft. I'd like to take a quarterback. I don't think they will. I don't think they will either. Not in the first round. I don't think they will. But we will see. Don't forget, I want to welcome to our sports team sponsorship family, Sensei Asian Bistro, now open in Celebration Point next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, bringing bold Japanese French fusion flavors you won't find any place else. This is not a drill, Gainesville. The premier night spot has arrived, and we welcome them to our sports scene family. Hour 2 coming up. Thanks for tuning into Hour 1. I've got a couple of more people who are actually doing the NFL draft thing. I love it. I want to get every team represented if we can before the draft. This hour brought to you by Quality Plumbing. You're listening to Sports Scene on WYUF.
Every pitch of Gator baseball, all season long, right here on WRUF, your home for Gator sports.
Want to get your brand noticed? At Radware, we help you stand out with custom corporate apparel, branded uniforms, and promotional swag that gets attention. From trade shows to team uniforms, we've got you covered. Radware even works with major names like the University of Florida. Boost your brand visibility today. Visit radware.com. That's radware.com and let your brand shine.
If there's anybody that knows what teamwork and great leadership is all about, it's the head ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier. Sure, it applies to football and the team at Campus USA Credit Union.
Yeah, I think we got excellent leadership with Jerry Benton and his staff there, and certainly I'm proud to team up with those guys as we go from year to year.
Campus USA Credit Union can help with all your financial decisions. Join the team. Learn more at campuscu.com. Member NCUA.
Summer in Gainesville means sunshine, barbecues, and storm season right around the corner. Don't wait until disaster strikes to think about your roof. Whether it's your home or your business, Atlantic Roofing has you covered. From inspections to full replacements, their expert team handles both residential and commercial roofing, built to stand up to Florida's toughest weather. Get ahead of the storm. Protect what matters most. Visit AtlanticRoofingFL.com today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing. Roofing you can trust, rain or shine.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
Hi, I'm Kerry Meldon. At Meldon Law, we prepare every case as if it's going to trial. And part of that preparation involves real people from our community giving honest feedback. Join one of our jury research focus groups. You'll review real case scenarios, share your perspective, and enjoy dinner and dessert on us. We'll thank you and provide you $125 for your time. It's engaging, meaningful, and your voice truly matters. Visit meldonlaw.com to sign up today.
Gator fans, this one's for you. Introducing Castaway Sauce Company, the hot sauce made by Gators for Gators. Their signature ball kicker hot sauce is inspired by Steve Spurrier's famous kick that beat Auburn in '66. If you love hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar, Castaway delivers. Available at select public supermarkets, Castaway Sauce Company is founded by a lifelong Gator and proud UF alum. From mild to wild, they've got a flavor for every Gator tailgate. Grab your Castaway hot sauce today and taste the tradition. Learn more at CastawaySauceCompany.com. SportsCityMiami.com.
March is here. It's time to go big with a new 4K TV or projector from Electronics World, so you can catch every slam dunk, three-pointer, and buzzer beater. Electronics World has the best names in the business: LG, Samsung, and Sony, with Ultra HD TVs up to 100 inches. Or let the pros at EW design a system with a 4K projector and custom installed screen. Add a surround sound system so you can feel like you're at mid-court. Visit Electronics World in Gainesville today or online at electronicsworld.net.
Foodies, this is not a drill. Sensei Asian Bistro is now open in Celebration Point, right next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, and it's bringing bold Japanese French fusion flavors you won't find anywhere else. We're talking smoked New York strip, rich matcha curry, melt-in-your-mouth Chilean sea bass, and the fan-favorite Chunggang chili chicken. Feeling adventurous? Dive into fresh crudo oysters or treat yourself to A5 Wagyu tataki. Add in handcrafted cocktails, and you've got your next night out covered. Sensei Asian Bistro. Come hungry, leave impressed.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. The godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by Gator Trim Light, Campus USA Credit Union, Doreen Weeby Realtor, Fairlife Milk, Domino's Pizza, International Diamond Center, Meldon Law, Miapa Latin Cafe, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Quality Plumbing, Sensei Asian Bistro, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Titan MRI and Imaging, the UF Bookstore, Gala Bank, B&D Electric, and the Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
Hour 2 of Sports Scene for this Wednesday commences now with Andres, our producer today. Thank you for making time out of your day to join us here, coming to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio. Fully programmable right from your phone, full color systems. They can make your home really, really look good. To find out more, visit GatorTrimLight.com and you'll see all the things they can do for you. And we are fueled by Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, the best in late model, low mileage vehicles. When you go see the Cousins boys, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you there. This hour of Sports Scene also brought to you by Domino's Pizza, right in your neighborhood, perfect for lunch, dinner, or those late night cravings. Nobody delivers like Domino's. Fast, easy, just a click away. You can order at www.gatordominoes.com. This hour, we hope to have agent extraordinaire Lee Steinberg join us because the NFL draft is coming up. He's seen a few of those, how it's changed, etc., how the event has changed since he started doing it. He'll be with us to talk about that. Tomorrow, it is going to be a very busy day on Sports Scene. We have a guest in every segment of the first hour tomorrow. Buck Ballou, working radio up in Atlanta, will be with us to preview Georgia spring football. Andrew Allegretta, play-by-play voice of Vanderbilt, will, of course, talk Vanderbilt spring football. Chris Stewart, my buddy at Alabama, will preview Alabama spring football. And then Gator men's golf coach J.C. Deacon will stop by, too, as they're getting ready to start postseason play. Friday, Charlie Cream, who does bracketology for ESPN, ESPN.com women's basketball, will join us to talk about Florida's hiring of a new coach, some of the players in the portal, all of that, and we're working on some other people to join us as well. So that's what's coming up in the next couple of days. But now you can call us on the Titan MRI and Imaging phone line, 392-8255, the International Diamond Center email, srussell@wruf.com. You can text us, 352-325-3777, brought to you by B&D Electrical. And remember, all of our guests come to you courtesy of Meldon Law. serving Gator Nation since 1971. Facebook Live questions, courtesy of Ruse Ogra State Farm. YouTube questions, courtesy of Campus USA Credit Union. All right, text question. Daniel in Georgia, do you have the Falcons yet? I have a question. Why'd they get Tua? He stinks. What do you think they do in the draft? Well, that's what I want you to do, Daniel. Text me back and tell me what you think your favorite team is going to do. Look, they took a flyer on Tua. I get it. Penix has been hurt. So, you know, I sometimes a quarterback can change scenery. A player can change scenery, and it works out. We'll see. Brian's email to the previous emailer who was telling you to rush to Sully's defense. I question how much he knows about UF baseball. Sully's record speaks for itself. There's no doubt he's the greatest UF baseball coach in school history. As far as the loss to Bethune-Cookman, are they a better team than most are thinking? I know they beat LSU and wanted to get your opinion on them since you called the game. Yeah, that's one of the best Bethune-Cookman teams I've seen. And once again, understand you're not going up against Aiden King or, you know, somebody like that. Florida's throwing. It's down the line pitching, and that's going to happen once in a while. It just is. But yeah, and you know, sometimes you say, well, what's wrong with Florida? But you also have to give credit to the other team. They hit it pretty well, and they pitched it pretty well. Let's go to our phone line. Renard is there. Renard, hello.
Hey, Steve, man. Great time of the year. 2 scintillating NBA games on last night. Unfortunately, I don't know why. I guess because of the money, you got to go to Prime. Those games should have been on ESPN or TNT where more people could have seen them.
Well, get used to that because you're going to see more of that.
Wow. Steve, you know, I have Prime upstairs. I don't go upstairs. The only thing I saw the game was the highlights last night. I rarely turn to Prime, but you're right. That's probably the direction it's moving in because everything boils down to the money, unfortunately. And Steve, I heard you, the Knicks. I think that Mike Brown has done a pretty good job this year. What are your thoughts on the job he did?
Oh, I'm not saying he did a bad job. I'm saying there's enormous pressure on him because of what the owner said when they fired Thibodeau. Thibodeau did a great job, but they didn't get to the finals, and he got let go. And so the owner said to the new coach, you know, we got all this money invested. We got all these dudes. We need to make the finals. Well, if they don't, they're going to fire him too? And I don't think they're going to make the finals. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong. But if they don't, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I think the Celtics. I think the Celtics, for some reason, are coming out the East. But I think that, you know, Kiel did a good job in New York. But Steve, he played his starters heavy minutes, and he didn't develop a bench. I think this year, Mike Brown has developed a bench. You got you got brought in Jose Alvarado, who's done a nice job. So I think there's been some improvement. I don't know if that improvement is going to be enough to get you over the hump, but I like the job he's done. And in New York, you know, he's there. He's proven. He know how to deal with the media, put together staff. So I think all in all, Steve, it's been a pretty good habit. Like you said, not all boils down to what comes next. See, this baseball thing, I guess everybody complains about the Dodgers and the payroll. I'm not a Dodger fan. In fact, I'm a San Francisco fan. But the Dodgers left L.A. last year down 2-3. They go back and they win 2. If Toronto wins, we're not talking about the Dodgers payroll.
So yes, we are. Yes, we are. You're talking about the Dodgers payroll because it's the Dodgers payroll. It's the amount of money.
Okay, but you still have to win. They still have to go out and get it done. And to me, the Dodgers have always had talent. I think the difference is you have a manager in Dave Roberts. Before he got there, the Dodgers always underachieved. That has not been the case under Dave Roberts. Even when you have great players, sometimes that can be a huge nightmare headache for a manager. You still have to pull the string. And this guy is one of the best to do it. And I give him a lot of credit for the Dodgers. Steve, you have a great day. Take care.
Yep, thank you. I give him a lot of credit, too. But he's got a roster that the best of money can buy. And it's interesting. Somebody can fact-check me here. L.A.'s been, growing up in my era, the Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, that group of Dodgers. They, I believe, won 2 championships in the 60s. They beat the Yankees one year, I know that. That was 63. They beat the Twins, the other one. Then they didn't win until the 80s. Decade of the 70s, didn't win anything. And then it was from 1988 to 2020 that they won a world championship. Now they've won, what they've won. So, again, it's all beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? In terms of how much you win, that sort of thing. Dustin, your thoughts on Skylar Sanford this season? Up and down, as he was last night. I think he's got great potential. He's got stuff. So, that's just how that is. And that's the thing, if you're at Florida, you have some talent. You're not going to come here if you're a ham and egger. So, there you go. Now, we have a YouTube question. Will we get Houck and the Iowa State guy, or only one of them? If they get both of them, you can forget it. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the chances of that happening are slim and none. But if that were to happen, oh my gosh, that would be crazy. Crazy. Tom is going to pick for the Lions. There you go, Tom. As a long-suffering Lions fan, still waiting on the first Super Bowl appearance, I think they'll select the offensive lineman Proctor from Alabama or one from Penn State at pick 17 in the second round. Probably look for the best edge rusher available to pair with the terrific Hutchinson, who's a very, very good player. We will see. All right, we got a little time here, and it's going to be a long day. By the way, there's some afternoon baseball today. That's one of the cool things I like about this time of the year, early in the year. There's a lot of afternoon baseball games. My Mets lost to the Dodgers again yesterday. Wasn't it? I believe I read this right, that when the Mets and the Dodgers, it was a $1.7 billion matchup. That's what the two payrolls were combined. That's just nuts. And the Dodgers obviously are winning. The Mets are not. And by the way, also wanted to throw out last night in the SEC in baseball, Florida was not the only team to lose. Oklahoma lost. That's a future Gator opponent, but they lost to Oklahoma State 7-3. And then women's golf, getting ready for the SEC championships. They enter as the number 1 overall seed, 5 regular season victories. April 17th to the 21st at the Pelican Golf Club here in the state of Florida. Wish them well. We'll Take a break, come back, more to come as you listen to Sports Scene, coming to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Jaden Haynes. Last night's game at Condren Family Ballpark ended with an upset against mid-major Bethune-Cookman. The Wildcats went up 3-2 by the third inning, holding the lead until Florida scored 3 in the 6th before Bethune exploded in the 7th, earning 7 runs. The final score was 13-7. Here's Brendan Lawson on the team's hitting performance.
Success is found through the middle of the field, staying through there, and then hitting's hard. Like sometimes the pitcher's going to throw a good game, and even if you're sticking to your approach, that's just how it kind of goes sometimes. If we can just stick to that plan, I think we're going to continue to have success at the plate.
Coverage for tomorrow's game against Auburn begins at 6:55 p.m. on WRUF. Florida Gymnastics travel to Fort Worth to compete against LSU, Stanford, and Georgia in the NCAA Championships tomorrow after a season where they finished 26-2.
Hey, it's Steve Russell for Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. Friends, they've been in business for 45-plus years, and the Cousins family has done just one thing, but man, they've done it right. They give you the best alternative you have to purchasing a new vehicle, the best in late-model, low-mileage vehicles. I'm driving one right now, have been for a very long time. They've treated me right. They'll do the same thing for you. Go see them today, Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville.
Everyone knows Gator Trim Light is the go-to for patented permanent holiday lighting. But did you know they do so much more? From pool enclosures and businesses to decks and landscape lighting, they've got you covered. Full color systems, fully programmable, right from your smartphone. Invisible by day, stunning by night. Show off your orange and blue home or landscape with GatorTrimLight.com. That's GatorTrimLight.com. GatorTrimLight.com.
Hi, I'm Kerry Meldon. At Meldon Law, we prepare every case as if it's going to trial. And part of that preparation involves real people from our community giving honest feedback. Join one of our jury research focus groups. You'll review real case scenarios, share your perspective, and enjoy dinner and dessert on us. We'll thank you and provide you $125 for your time. It's engaging, meaningful, and your voice truly matters. Visit meldonlaw.com to sign up today.
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for core power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
Nope, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
If there's anybody that knows what teamwork and great leadership is all about, it's the head ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier. Sure, it applies to football and the team at Campus USA Credit Union.
Yeah, I think we got excellent leadership with Jerry Benton and his staff there, and certainly I'm proud to team up with those guys as we go from year to year.
Campus USA Credit Union can help with all your financial decisions. Join the team. Learn more at campuscu.com. Member NCUA.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Connecting with WRUF at Sports Scene just got easier. Call, email, watch on YouTube or Facebook Live. And now text us on the B&D Electric text line at 352-325-3777. That's 352-325-3777. Gator baseball fans, don't miss On Deck with Steve Russell and Jeff Cardoso live every Monday at 1 on WRUF. Get baseball and softball breakdowns, player analysis, and SEC previews. Listen live or anytime on the WRUF app, YouTube, or Facebook. On Deck, it's a hit.
Bush Auto Repair and Gator Transmission is Gainesville's no-hassle, no-overcharge repair shop since 1954. From same-day maintenance jobs to transmission repairs, their Ace Techs fix it right the first time to get you back on the road. It's the straight talk and excellence you'd expect in the swamp. Whatever your car needs, trust Bush Auto Repair and Gator Transmission. Keeping cars on the road since 1954. Call 352-372-0138 or visit bushautorepair.com.
This is Sean Kelly, voice of the Gators, and you're listening to the home of Gators football right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM. Now, more of Sports Scene with Steve Russell.
Thank you, Sean Kelly. Andres made sure I was right. That matchup between the Mets and the Dodgers, $1.07 billion. That's just nuts. Welcome back. Some afternoon baseball today, and a lot of teams in the MLB are 500-ish. Nobody really is. The Dodgers are clearly. The Padres, too. Orioles trail the Diamondbacks at home 2-1. The Guardians and the Cardinals are underway. Then just started raining. And the Red Sox, 6-11. They're in the Mets territory. They're in Minnesota where the Twinkies are 11-7. So, yeah, you just never quite know, 15, 20 games into the season where we are. If you're tired of banks that don't know your name, meet Gala Bank. It's Gainesville's only local bank. With over 350 years of combined experience, here to help neighbors, not just customers. No call centers, no appointments necessary, no sign-in sheets, and anybody can cash a check with them. No extra charge for doing that. You can find them at 7515 West University Avenue off of Tower Road. They are a member of FDIC. All right, let me get to an International Diamond Center email here. Hopefully Lee Steinberg is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. And it looks like I'm going to have to get a bunch of people on the air for guests as we go along here. But this is a good email. Ben says, Steve, I've listened to your show for a lot of years, and you don't really mention places that you have been or places that you would like to go to. Can you elaborate some on some of the places you've been to and places you would still like to go to? I'm assuming, Ben, you mean like stadiums, right? Been everywhere in the SEC. I've been fortunate enough to go to national championships and do games in softball and baseball and attend basketball and football when Florida was involved. As a kid, growing up in the Northeast, I always wanted to go to Notre Dame. Women's basketball one year played Notre Dame, and we actually snuck in to the stadium to see the football stadium. So that was one. I've never been to Fenway Park or Wrigley Field. Those would be bucket list things. And I don't know why, I don't really know why, but the Rose Bowl. It's just been, that's an iconic place. And I came close. I went to California. I went to Dodger Stadium when I was a kid. We went to California, took Route 66 to California. Got to go to Dodger Stadium. So I'll throw that out too, just for grins, because nobody else is calling about sports. So, is there a venue, or do you have a favorite venue or a venue that you didn't like when you went to it? So those would be mine. And again, I'm just trying to think. Madison Square Garden, been there. Never been to the Boston Garden. See a Celtics game. That might be pretty cool. But again, fortunate to go to, a lot of these places that have seen great games. Went to Yankee Stadium. I've not been to Citi Field yet. Shea Stadium, yes. And I'm afraid to go to Citi Field because the Mets are so bad. I may wait till they're better before I go. But we will find out. All right, let's go to our International Diamond Center email here. Let's see. Pete says, Steve, Gators softball has had a chance to have a really, really good season. If Rothrock comes around, is this a College World Series team? Well, she's coming around. I mean, it isn't like she's been bad. I mean, again, I think that's what happens sometimes when the expectation gets crazy. I mean, look what she's done. I mean, is she, dominant like, Nelson or some of those pitchers have been? Probably not. But she's been really good. And softball pitching has changed. It's not as dominant anymore, mostly, with one or two arms. It's like baseball now. You see 5 and 6 pitchers on a pitching staff. And that helps save an arm, that you really need for an important series where you could go a couple of the games of that series. So that, to me, is one of the biggest changes we've had, in softball, and not a bad thing. Chuck, boy, that helped. He says Wrigley Field for him. That's where he would want to go. Sam says 2 places. He said one is Notre Dame, and the other is Baton Rouge. Never been there for a football game. It's a cool place. It's a cool place to go to a baseball game, too. So, yeah, there you go. And I'm trying to find I just had one and lost it here. There it is. Philip says, you always talk about your Jets and your Mets and you say how bad they are. Well, they are. Have you ever thought about rooting for another team? Oh, constantly, Philip, constantly. I mean, you look and go, why do I need to suffer with these guys? But I can't do that. I'd be a hypocrite if I did that. When you only like a team when they're good, that's the definition of a fair weather fan. I can't do that. But I will complain. I will, about my teams. But I can't just say, no, I'm going to abandon them. I can't think of a team, I've done that with. Before I go today, though, I'm going to tell you something that the Columbus Blue Jackets coach said that I thought took a lot of guts in this day, and he's probably going to get fired because they were in a playoff position and then at the end didn't play very well, and they're going to be out of the playoffs. But you'll hear what he said about his team, his players. Interesting. We'll take a break, come back, and then hopefully Lee Steinberg is going to join us as you listen to Sports Scene on WRUF.
This is former Gator quarterback Shane Matthews, and you're listening to the home of Gator sports, WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
It's never fun being injured, and with summer on the way, the last thing you want is lingering pain holding you back. Good news, you don't have to deal with long waits or high costs at Titan MRI and Imaging. At Titan MRI and Imaging, you're not just another patient. You're treated with care in a comfortable, personal setting. With 2 locations in Gainesville and 1 in Lake City, being pain-free is a short drive away, and they accept insurance. So don't sit out this summer. Get the scan you need and get back to enjoying it. Visit TitanMRI.com to learn more.
The commitment from IDC to first responders is really extraordinary.
Veteran firefighter Johnny Hinton talks about International Diamond Center's ongoing support for our heroes in uniform.
IDC has helped us raise just massive amounts of money.
Johnny says in addition to corporate gifts to support charity fundraisers, IDC is there every day, helping first responders with an extra 15% discount on any purchase.
Again, thank you guys so much.
International Diamond Center at Celebration Point.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
By now, you've heard about the Florida Legends experience in Gila, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel, and Steve Spurrier all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at fllegends.com. That's fllegends.com.
Summer in Gainesville means sunshine, barbecues, and storm season right around the corner. Don't wait until disaster strikes to think about your roof. Whether it's your home or your business, Atlantic Roofing has you covered. From inspections to full replacements, their expert team handles both residential and commercial roofing, built to stand up to Florida's toughest weather. Get ahead of the storm. Protect what matters most. Visit AtlanticRoofingFL.com today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing. Roofing you can trust, rain or shine. Hey, Gator baseball fans, here's a win you can taste. When the Florida Gators take home a victory at Condren Family Ballpark, you win too at Miapa Latin Cafe. The day after every home win, swing by and score a free Cuban coffee, hot or iced, your choice. Just bring your game ticket to any Miapa location and claim your reward within 24 hours of the win. It's that simple. Gators win, you win. Only at Miapa Latin Cafe, serving Gator fans for over 20 years. Play ball!
The best conversations happen with Los Landeros tequila, like this recent conversation between two Gator legends.
Coach, you know what always impressed me? How you beat Florida State to win the 1996 national championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. 100% agave, Los Landeros tequila. Aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
I just got another NBA offer from Hard Rock Bet.
A Hard Rock Bet promo at the Hard Rock Bet Party? That is so meta.
That's not meta. That's Meta World Peace. Meta. Tell them about Hard Rock Bet.
Hard Rock Bet has it all. Live odds for every NBA game, every player prop, same game parlays, you name it. It's the only place I play these days.
Okay, now that is meta.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Hey, it's Jeff Cardozo. Your only home for Gator baseball is WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2. Your home for Gator sports.
You know, when you have a draft, I don't care if it's MLB, NBA, whatever, agents have been a part of this historically for a long time. And my next guest has been with us several times. Lee Steinberg has had innumerable draft picks in the NFL, and he now joins us. As a matter of fact, 62 total first-round picks represented by Lee Steinberg, so that's pretty good. Lee, welcome. When was the first NFL draft you had?
It was 1975, and I had the first pick in the draft, the quarterback Steve Bartkowski, who got picked first overall by the Atlanta Falcons. And the way you found out someone was drafted is there was a phone call. There was no radio, no TV, no ceremonies, and the draft was 17 rounds, and it was held in January. So all this elaborate scouting system has evolved over time, but then it was just play the season, go to an all-star game, and get drafted.
It seems so simple now compared to what it is. Obviously, Lee, the event has changed a lot over the years, as you just chronicled. Have the changes been good?
Oh, I think so. From the standpoint of the NFL, it gives them a spectacular off-season event to refocus people on the NFL. And so you now have 3 or 4 days of sponsored events back in Pittsburgh. For example, I'm speaking to a group of the mothers of the top draft picks that Randy Mahomes, Patrick's mother, does every year. And to give a mom's perspective on what the experience will be, and I sort of talk to them about role modeling and health and preventing incidents, and so it's all week long. It's on 2 networks. It's my favorite day of the year when you're with a draftee, which I won't be this year, but when you're with a draftee. If they don't go to Pittsburgh, they're probably staying at home with every family friend, cousin, aunt, uncle, teammate, and they're all assembled in one big room, and the tension ratchets up. They've shortened the amount of time teams have to pick now because a team has had months to figure out who will be on the draft board when their turn comes. So they can't be making that decision, but what they are doing is trading. But draft time is not real time. It's water torture time. Every second seems like a minute. Every minute seems like an hour. Drip, drip, drip. And then it all goes into one rhapsodic moment where there's pure joy and ecstasy, and so I love it.
I hope I asked a question here that makes sense, Lee. If it doesn't, please tell me. I'll rephrase it. You've had the first overall pick in the NFL draft 8 times. That's crazy. It's crazy good. But when there is a trade, when a team – are agents apprised of the pick at all? In other words, does the team call the player? Does the team call the player and the agent? How does that process work?
So there's 2 levels of that. Officially – the coach or GM or the president will call the player at the time they put the selection in. So you actually know a little before it goes on television. From my standpoint, I'm interactive all day long with teams so that, was I aware with Patrick Mahomes that trades were possibilities? Yes, because you could stack the draft order up, and if he wasn't taken in his 10th pick, then you have New Orleans right behind them, and you've got Houston behind that. So you know what the hot teams are, and you prepared your player for how that will shake out. So while the trade's coming down, am I aware? Yes, because of long relationships I have with teams. As long as I don't cross-fertilize information to other teams, then they're pretty honest. And they're not honest in the lead-up to the draft. There's a generalized amnesty on truth-telling that goes on for team executives before the draft. So let's say a general manager leaves the planet, goes up, and St. Peter asked him at the gate to heaven, "What's this horrible thing you did?" He said, and the GM said, "Well, I lied about what our intentions were." And St. Peter would say, "Come right in."
Wow, that's interesting. Lee Steinberg joining us here. He's got a book he'll have a chance to talk about here called The Comeback, a playbook for turning life setbacks into victories. What you've represented so many athletes, but it's still cool to see, 21-year-old or however old you are, guys with the joy of being picked. That never gets old, does it?
No, it's resurgence, resurrection, seeding. It's always fresh. It's always new. And if you think about it, this young football player has been preparing for this since Pop Warner. He's probably had this dream his whole life. And he spent endless hours in practice and training to get to this point. So it's fruition of all these dreams and hopes, and nothing could be more exciting than to watch someone transition from one world into the next.
I got an email, Lee, from a listener, and so I'm going to ask the question for him. His name is Frank, and he said, can you ask Mr. Steinberg, has there ever been a contentious negotiation where you're yelling and screaming, or is it done on a professional level?
You can't really allow it to descend to that level because of repetitive business. So if I'm dealing with a team executive or an owner, I can't afford to personalize it and allow it to become a confrontation. So the days of screaming and yelling, which certainly were there in my earlier days, have gone away. The salary cap for rookies makes a negotiation pretty cut and dry because there's teams will pay the maximum they can pay to a draftee, and they'll make that as an offer up front. So that's changed. And again, in free agency, as long as you're open and honest, my goal is always to craft a win-win scenario where both parties get their needs met and walk away happy.
In your book, The Comeback, a playbook for turning life setbacks into victories, you talk about never-before-told draft stories, but just give us a thumbnail about the book and what it entails.
So I struggled with alcohol 20 years ago and had life reverses. And so the book's about what I went through and the fact that life will inevitably push all of us back in some way where we're frustrated with our arc of life. It could be marital, it could be health, it could be financial, or it could be substance abuse. So the book stresses once you get into a compromised situation, how you come back. Can you be resilient? And it talks about my own story, but then it talks about Troy Aikman, who's the number one pick in the draft, and he's promised that the team will be built around him, the Cowboys. And guess what? In a month, they have a thing called the supplemental draft, and they take with it another quarterback who's just piloted the team that Jimmy Johnson coached for to the national championship. So with a very untalented roster, you already have a quarterback controversy. It tells the story of Warren Moon at a time when there was skepticism as to whether a black quarterback could play the position. So he goes to Canada for 6 years with his nose up against the glass looking at the NFL, comes back, signs the biggest contract, and eventually gets into the Hall of Fame.
Pretty good stuff. Last question for you. Because of the way the draft has evolved, I'm sure a lot of players came to you and wanted your representation. What was your process like in determining who you would represent?
So our practice has been about the athlete as role model. So I looked for athletes who were willing to retrace their roots, go back to the high school, set up a scholarship fund, or work with the church or Boys and Girls Club, do the same thing at the university community, and set up a charitable foundation. So the first thing was character. Was this young man a self-starter? And importantly, on the talent side, in adversity, the quarterback's throwing a couple interceptions, the crowd's booing, the game's getting out of hand. What does he do now? Can this player compartmentalize, adopt a quiet mind, tune out extraneous input, and elevate his level of play in critical situations? And so, Steve, what I would do is profile players. I'd look into their background. I'd meet with the parents, and you get a good sense for whether or not this is someone that you believe will be a major success. And do they pass the character test? Are they going to be in trouble? Are they going to have a DUI or domestic violence? And you're trying to screen that out so you have a client you can be proud of.
Well, you've had a lot of them, Lee, and always appreciate your time being here because Your experience in this is well chronicled. Thank you for talking to us here today.
Thanks, Steve.
You got it. He's a good guest. And look what he's done in his career. It's incredible. Lee Steinberg joining us here. We'll have one more segment left where you can call us and talk sports. We'll take a break now and come back and wrap up today's sports scene as you listen on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
Hi, I'm Mika Perez. Florida baseball took a tough midweek loss Tuesday night, falling to Bethune-Cookman 7-13 in a game that slipped away late. Shortstop Brendan Lawson says the team always bounces back even through adversity.
Throughout the game tonight, but it's a resilient group, and we've had our fair share of injuries and illnesses, and I feel like the guys respond every time, so it's awesome.
The Gators host Auburn on Thursday night, with coverage beginning at 6:55 p.m. on WRUF. Fresh off a series sweep at South Carolina, the number 4 Florida softball team will return home tonight to host FGCU. Game coverage will start at 5:40 p.m. on WRUF. And number 3 Florida Gymnastics is off to the NCAA Championships. This marks the program's 5th trip in the past 6 years. Semifinal competition begins tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 p.m. as the Gators look to have a strong postseason run.
He's got the 1966 Heisman Trophy, the 1996 National Championship Trophy, and 7 SEC trophies. Now he's got a new trophy, a can of beer. Steve Spurrier was the head ball coach. Now you can call him the head beer coach. Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager is available in 16-ounce cans at Gator games and stores all across Gainesville. You can also get it in the can or on draft at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Refreshing in all kinds of weather, Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager, a legend in a can.
Attention local and regional CDL-A drivers in the North Florida area. Pritchett Trucking is currently looking for local and regional drivers. Are you looking for a driver-friendly environment? Pritchett Trucking offers more home time, great pay, and great benefits, including health insurance and paid time off. And they also offer a quarterly performance and safety program, plus a sign-on bonus. Pritchett Trucking's regional drivers are home weekends and local drivers are home daily. If you're at least 23 years old and want a rewarding career with great pay, don't let the opportunity pass you by. Apply online at PritchettTrucking.com.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville and you'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
We all know the most exciting thing that can happen during a baseball game is a grand slam. Leave it to Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC and the Florida Gators to make it even more exciting. This year, at any SEC home game here in Gainesville, if the baseball or softball team hits a grand slam in the 4th inning, someone will win a 2-year lease on a brand new 2026 Chevy Trax. It's happened before. Will you be the next to win? Davis Gainesville Chevrolet and the Florida Gators. Now that's a hit.
March is here. It's time to go big with a new 4K TV or projector from Electronics World, so you can catch every slam dunk, three-pointer, and buzzer beater. Electronics World has the best names in the business: LG, Samsung, and Sony, with Ultra HD TVs up to 100 inches. Or let the pros at EW design a system with a 4K projector and custom installed screen. Add a surround sound system so you can feel like you're at mid-court. Visit Electronics World in Gainesville today or online at electronicsworld.net.
Hey Gainesville, tired of big banks that don't know your name? Meet Galabank. Locally owned, locally operated. With over 350 years of combined experience, we're here to help our neighbors, not just customers. No call centers, no appointments necessary, no sign-in sheets, and anyone can cash a check on us. No extra charge. Local bank, local people. Galabank. Find us at 7515 West University Avenue off Tower Road. Galabank. Member FDIC.
Gainesville's best-kept secret is finally being revealed. Introducing Sensei Asian Bistro. Located in Celebration Point next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Sensei delivers a one-of-a-kind Japanese-French fusion experience that's as refined as it is unforgettable. Indulge in signature dishes like our smoked New York strip, Chilean sea bass, matcha curry, or the crave-worthy Chunggang chili chicken. Pair it all with handcrafted cocktails, fresh crudo oysters, or our premium A5 Wagyu tataki. Sensei Asian Bistro. Make your reservation today.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Sunny and hot this afternoon, highs near 90, starting out mostly clear tonight with patchy fog in the morning, lows near 60. The summer-like heat continues for us Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend with near record high temperatures possible in the lower to mid-90s, both on Friday and Saturday. Then a cold front should track through our region Sunday night into Monday. Cooler Monday afternoon, highs in the low 80s. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
You're listening to Sports Scene with Steve Russell, right here on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF mobile app.
Don't forget, tonight we have coverage of Gators softball against Florida Gulf Coast at 5:40. I'll be doing that game along with Lance Williams. Looking forward to working with him. And then it'll be win or go home in the West, the NBA play-in tournament. 9-seed Golden State, 10-seed LA Clippers. Losers season is done. Let's go to our phone line. Dean is there. Hi, Dean.
Hey, good afternoon, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to get your perspective on where the Gators are going from here as far as it's been chronicled that we're on our fourth head coach. We've taken care of the practice facilities, the football facility, standalone facility. There's still talk about getting redoing the field, though, as far as making it more user-friendly. So I wanted to get your perspective where you think the Gators are now in fourth head coach, post Urban Meyer, post Tim Tebow, and where they were. How do you think things are looking after the Orange-Blue game?
I'll say this. I mentioned this when I did my TV 20 piece, and I mentioned this on the air. The word I took from it is hope. Hope. I think Florida fans are cautiously optimistic that Sumrall is the right guy. I think his selection as the coach was met better than the selection of Billy Napier was, even if we didn't know anything about Billy. He's said and done all the right things. Now you have to go, you got to go do it. And I would hope that the expectation's not crazy in year one. The schedule is better. You lose LSU and Ole Miss and you get Kentucky and South Carolina. On paper, that is certainly helpful. But, it's not going to be done overnight. But I would think if they continue to recruit well and, this staff gets settled in, they got a chance to make the playoff relatively soon, and I think that's what Gator fans are wanting right now.
Yeah, a school as big as Florida is, as far as alumni base, they should be competing. Why does a school like Ohio State, who doesn't have the weather to offer, and they seem to walk away with their allocation of recruits every year, regardless of a new name and licensing, as far as that change in paradigm?
Well, part of it is winning, right? And it's all cyclical. When Urban Meyer was here, a lot of people wanted to come to Florida because they were winning, right? No NIL then. Ohio State has a rich tradition of winning, and they're putting money into NIL. So, and look where the last champions have come from. They can recruit and say, the last, 3 champions in college football have all come from this conference, the Big Ten, not the SEC. Not the big bad SEC, but the Big Ten. You want to come here. So that's got to flip too, where, the SEC, where it just means more, wins the big one.
Well, historically speaking, why do you think a school like Nebraska never has been able to come back to their glory of years past? That's a great question. I mean, part of it, there's a lot of things that go into it. Some of the hires just didn't work out. I think they got bypassed a little bit by some of the other schools in the league. When they switched leagues, it just hasn't worked out. It's like Indiana in basketball, right? With all the history of Indiana and Bobby Knight and all that, look where they are. They're struggling to be relevant in their own league, let alone, win a championship. So it just goes to, amplify my point. Nobody stays on top forever. It's just a matter of how long you're down. Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with talent, though, and sure, a differential in talent, though, and being able to bring that talent on campus. Sure, no question. That's a big. You got to win with talent, and because now schools like Indiana have NIL money, and they hired the right guy, doesn't mean 10 years from now they'll be relevant, but they are now. Dean, I appreciate your call. Thank you. That's going to do it for Sports Scene today. Want to thank agent extraordinaire Lee Steinberg for being here, the Auburn play-by-play voice Andy Burcham, and kicker Trey Smack for being here today as well. Lots of talk tomorrow about spring football around the SEC. We'll have that. But for now, do not move your radio dial because Kevin and the Sports Lab gang are next. Thanks to Andres for producing today. And as always, we thank you for consuming Sports Scene. I'm Steve Russell. You're listening to WRUF. See you tomorrow.
And I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground. And I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground. And I won't back down. Well, I know what's right. I got just one life. In a world that keeps on pushing me around, but
Every pitch of Gator